All right. So final practice here. So we don't practice on Thursdays. We just walk through on Thursdays, and then we'll load up to go down there. Have our Friday practice down there, and go to play the game. So great opportunity for us. As we know, first time I think in 5 years, and top 10, 11 opponent. So as we've talked about, we're very shorthanded, especially offensively. So is what it is. You saw some guys last night in bowl games step up when our chances came. I think there was a receiver one of the games was on and only had one catch all year, and I think scored 3 touchdowns or something. So hopefully we'll have some guys step up.
All right, please raise your hand. First question. Nick, go ahead.
Big picture, from your perspective, are bowl games vital to kind of build a program and have people notice, or do you see it more of as just the reward for the players on the team this year?
Well, I think it's good, especially if you're in ones that are, heavily viewed, so it's more advertising, for recruiting. I think it's good because, usually it means you got a winning record. And so if you're not, that's obviously mean you're not in a good place if you're not going to bowl games. So, when you had more practice, it used to, the theory used to be, well, you got 15 practices, you're going to get your team better for the future, as opposed to not having any practices. So it's a little different now because, there wasn't the layoff like there was.
Just curiosity, have Jerrion and Braylon practiced all this week yet?
We hope for them to play. You know that answer.
I know, just asking.
It's a good way to phrase it, though.
Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Lane, I know about obviously your dad's ties to Tampa. Can you talk a little bit about your specific ties to Tampa and how much time you spent down here?
Well, I was always there. When they went there, my brother was still going to high school. I was already out. I was in college. But I would go back there every summer and got married there, and group of guys would go there every summer, and then for years brought the kids there. So and then would go to the OTA days, when Gruden was there, once I was coaching, and spend some time there learning football. So seen a few games there. My brother spent a lot more time because he was in high school.
How important do you see this Central Florida area being for you in recruiting as you continue to build the program up?
Well, I think that we've always had success with Florida kids, all the way out from USC, going back, speaking to Tampa, to Mike Williams, who's actually coming by practice Friday. And there's always great players in Florida. And I think that there's something to Florida kids about how they work for the most part. And so, we got a couple last year that are doing really well here for us already, especially, Harlan, our running back, who had a big game last week as a true freshman, at LSU.
Thank you.
David, go ahead.
Lane, on Monday, you mentioned your recruiting class was about 95% wrapped up. Can you kind of in general talk about the needs you would like to fill from now until February signing date?
Well, we're only recruiting a few high school kids anymore. And so basically we're looking at there's a few spots left. If we get great high school players, we'll take them. If not, we're not going to reach. Not even take just good ones. They'd have to be great because you're going to want some spots here when everybody starts transferring, which is already happening. But I've said it before, just talking through it with the staff and talking to some other coaches, that have like one spot left. And all these kids are going to go in the portal. And this was all this great idea for the student athletes. It was great. Just watch. You're going to have thousands of kids with nowhere to go. Because they all think they're going somewhere, and they don't give us the ability to replace the ones you lose. So nobody's got initials. So these kids are all going to go nowhere.
Thank you.
Nick?
Have you started re-recruiting the senior yet, or is that something you're waiting until after the bowl for?
No, we did that. We started that weeks ago. Really first to get the idea where, whether they were coming back or going, and then, for ones that were in between to kind of recruit them. And as of now, almost all of them are coming back, and almost all of them were coming back when we first met with them. So I think they like the excitement, the direction of the program, and want to be part of it for another year.
Do you know if there's a hard deadline on that, like the draft, or is it just kind of something that they have to decide before spring?
That's a good question. I do not know that.
David?
Lane, you mentioned Monday that you were having some ongoing conversations with some guys who were still contemplating opting out. Have those things resolved themselves? And if so, can you tell us how they resolve?
I'll wait for people to put things on social media. We did have one for sure opt out, but like I've told these kids, they can do their social media thing nowadays. So hopefully that's the only one, and I think it is. I think they're ones on a fence. I think we've met with, and they're back practicing. So hopefully they'll get on the plane tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Neil?
Hey, Lane, with the opt-outs happening kind of all over the place and bowl games taking on different significance than they used to in the past, I've never asked you, what are your thoughts on the college football playoff the way it is today? Is 4 the right number, or should it be a higher number? I know when you were at Alabama, you were involved with it every year, I guess.
Yeah, it should be 8. It shouldn't. There's too much margin for error for this group of people to decide who the best teams are. And I said, I don't remember what year I said it, maybe 2 years ago, I think. And they listed 1 through 4, and 4 and 3 beat 1 and 2, and then 4 beat 3. So that just shows you how hard that is for anyone to do, let alone these guys to get in a room and figure this thing out. So, there's nothing saying that the best team's not 5, and and then teams knock each other out because different, conferences are different strength, have different strengths. And so, and now you got this argument Notre Dame's in. Well, I'm not saying who should be in, but they just lost their conference championship and beat the team earlier with the backup quarterback, by 1 score. So I'm not saying they shouldn't be in. I'm just saying it's too hard to figure out. So why not let it be 8 and let it play out?